Welcome back. This is Rich again back for an exclusive YouTube video blog. Tonight's YouTube video blog is about the biggest snubs for the WWE Hall of Fame. The WWE Hall of Fame has been in existence since 1993. There's actually no physical Hall of Fame, but it's the most recognizable Hall of Fame in the world of sports entertainment. And there's been dozens and dozens of legendary wrestlers, managers, broadcasters, and celebrities that have been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And I'm going to list the top 16 that I think are the biggest snubs in for the WWE Hall of Fame. They're not in it right now. Some might be, some probably won't, but they're still snubs. But first, these important messages of your concern. Listen to Crystal's Time Machine each and every Friday and Saturday night from 9 to 11 p.m. on WCAP 980, where everybody gets it. And if you can't catch the show live, listen to the podcast on archive.org. Goes back to October 2015. Follow Crystal on social media, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And say hello to Broadway Pizza, the official sponsor of Crystal's Time Machine. And if you say the promo code Crystal's Time Machine, $2 off your meal. So that's pretty good. And Crystal's looking for new sponsors in 2024. So if you want to sponsor Crystal's Time Machine on the radio, you could contact Crystal on social media and she'll take it from there. Okay? And now on to the video. And here are the top 16 people who I think are the biggest snubs in the WWE Hall that have never been put into the WWE Hall of Fame. There's so many other names that I considered on this list, but for one reason or another, I left them off because of them being still active or semi-active, or some won't get in for mysterious circumstances or obvious circumstances. Number 16 on this list is Kevin Sullivan, also known as the Taskmaster in WCW. He had a long and illustrious career. He didn't do too much in the WWE. He wrestled in the WWE back in the mid-70s, but he was a enhancement talent. His most famous run was in the 80s in championship wrestling from Florida as the Devil. He worshipped the Devil. Later on, he became a booker in WCW, and he also was part of the Dungeon of Doom with Jimmy Hart, the Giant, aka the Big Show, aka Paul White, and a few others. And also, he was the games master on the Varsity Club back in the late days of JCP Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling with Dr. Death Steve Williams, Rick Steiner, and Mike Rotunda, also known as IRS, Eleanor Shyster. And don't know if Kevin will ever get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. But I give him maybe less than 50-50. Number 15 on this list of the biggest snubs for the WWE Hall of Fame, Giant Baba. Giant Baba. Baba was a legendary wrestling promoter in Japan. He was the promoter of All Japan Wrestling. He actually had 2 NWA World Title reigns back in the 70s and 80s for a week when the touring NWA World Champion would come in. And I'm very shocked that he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. He passed away in 1999. But I think the chances of Baba going in the Hall of Fame are less than 10%. Number 14 on this list of the biggest snubs for the WWE Hall of Fame is the Brooklyn Brawler, also known as Steve Lombardi, who worked over 20 years in the WWE. He was basically enhancement talent, but backstage he did a lot of other duties. Hey, a long-time WWE jobber from the 70s and 80s, Hot Rod Johnny Rods, is in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he trained wrestlers such as Bubba Ray Dudley, Taz, and Tommy Dreamer. And if Johnny Rods could be in the WWE Hall of Fame, why can't the Brooklyn Brawler be? I give this a 50-50 shot. Number 13 on this list of the biggest snubs for the WWE Hall of Fame, referee Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner was a WWE referee from 1988 through 2005. He refereed more WWE championship matches of all time. He came in the WWE after a long run in Jim Crockett Promotions Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. He was part of the evil twin referee angle with Hulk Hogan, with his brother Dave Hebner. He got fired in 2005 because they were selling a bootleg WWE merchandise. Then he went to TNA. He's still active from time to time in AEW, and that might hold him from ever getting inducted in WWE. Give it a 25% shot he's inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. Number 12 on this list is the biggest snub, King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy, main event WrestleMania 2 against Hulk Hogan. And he also was in Memphis, Mid-South. And he actually left WWE in 1988 for a while. He came back in 1994, but he was well past his prime. He left after 1995, and then he said some not so flattering comments about the WWE post WWE run, and he was part of that concussion lawsuit in 2016, but that was dropped, and he passed away in 2019. And only main eventer in main eventer of WrestleMania not in the WWE Hall of Fame for the first 10 years, but unfortunately he has a less than 10% chance of going in the WWE Hall of Fame. Also, number 11 on this list is who's the biggest snub in WWE Hall of Fame. Sable, who was one of the first original divas in the WWE. She came in 1996 with Wildman Mark Mello. Originally, they were married, but Sable became the star of the show. She won the WWE Women's Championship in 1998. And then she left in 1999, suing the WWE, but she came back in 2003 after dropping the lawsuit. She was there a year, but she left on partying on good terms. But I've heard rumors that she's, doesn't talk to WWE anymore, and even though she's married to Brock Lesnar. And there's also rumors that Brock Lesnar doesn't want like Sable to do anything with the WWE when he's still around. I give this less than a 50-50 shot of happening. Number 10 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame is Rick the Model Martel. Rick was wrestled for over 20 years, mainly in WWE and AWA. He was multiple-time WWE Tag Team Champion, first with Tony Garea, and then Tito Santana. He won the AWA World Title in 1984, held it for 19 months. He's known as Model Rick Martel after he left the WWE. in 1994. He briefly resurfaced in WCW in 1998, but he suffered a knee injury that was career-ending. After he retired from the world of sports entertainment, he became a real estate agent in Quebec, and he, has doesn't want to be associated with pro wrestling anymore because it's in his past. But you never know. I give it maybe a 60% chance he gets a Hall of Fame induction. Number 9 on this list of the biggest WWE Hall of Fame snubs ever is the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags. They wrestled for Championship Wrestling for Florida and also AWA, WCW, WWE, and they won the WCW World Tag Team titles multiple times and the WWE Championship one time. And they're good friends with Hulk Hogan. And they have also from time to time they say positive things about the WWE, and it could be a good chance to get inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame in 2024 in Philadelphia because Knobs and Sags grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It would be a very big shock if they're not inducted in 2024. Number 8 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame is Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam had a long career in WWE and also WCW, ECW, and Japan. He was known for main eventing WrestleMania 11 against Lawrence Taylor. He passed away in 2007, and there's been several times that he was rumored to go into the WWE Hall of Fame, I think in 2013 and 2019, but at the last minute, he was pulled for mysterious reasons. But with 2024 around the corner, and having very good success in ECW, which was a Philadelphia-based promotion, that it could be his time to be inducted posthumously. So it's a good possibility he gets inducted in 2024. Number 7 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame is Earthquake, also known as Avalanche, also known as Shark, also known as Golga, also known as John Tenta. I'm not a fish or an avalanche or Golga or an earthquake. I am a man, John Tenta. John Tenta had some big success in WWE, feuding with Hulk Hogan and then having the WWE Tag Team Championship with Typhoon, and in WCW, he really jumped the shark first with Avalanche, which was a gimmick similar to Earthquake, and then the Shark, which he covered his lion tattoo with a shark sign. Eventually, he wrestled just as John Tenta. He came back to the WWE in 1998 as Golga because he lost a significant amount of weight, and many fans he probably would have played the Earthquake role pretty good. But he should have came back as Earthquake in 1998 because he could have feuded with Stone Cold Steve Austin as Earthquake. He made an appearance at the Gimmick Battle Royal in 2001, and he had some dark matches, and he was well liked backstage in the WWE and WCW. He passed away in 2006 due to bladder cancer at the young age of 43. And there was rumors a couple of years ago that John was almost going to be inducted into WWE posthumously, but that never came to be. Number 6 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame history is Demolition Axe and Smash. They were in the WWE for about 4 years. At first they were Road Warrior knockoffs, but they were but they had their own style. Then the Road Warriors, winning WWE Tag Team Championships 3 times. They had a crush later on. But the biggest knock about them not getting in the Hall of Fame is that they had lawsuits against WWE. Even though they were dropped, it still has a bad taste in their mouth, and they're probably not going to get inducted. That's such a shame. Number 5 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame history is Miss Elizabeth. Miss Elizabeth was the manager of Macho Man Randy Savage and also Hulk Hogan, the first lady of wrestling. She was married to Randy Savage in real life for about 8 years, and they were the best gimmick in wrestling for years. She got out of the wrestling business when she and Randy divorced. She came back around 1996 with WCW, at first with Savage's Corner, and then she turned heel with Ric Flair. Then she joined the NWO, and then she hooked up with Lex Luger. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2003 while she and Luger were dating. And I think she's never going to get inducted in WWE Hall of Fame, even though there was a rumor about 2022 that she was on the short list to be inducted, but I heard her family does not want her to be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame, and that's such a shame. Number 4 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame history is the Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, and their manager, Jim Cornette. The Midnight Express were tag teams for approximately 8 years. First, it was Condrey and Eaton. They wrestled Mid-South, and then World Class, and then they went to JCP, winning many tag team championships. And when Dennis Condrey left in 1987, he was replaced by Stan Lane, and the Lane and Eaton Midnight Express was just as successful. And Jim Cornette was very good at the mic. They stopped tag teaming in 1990 when Cornette and Lane left WCW. And I think the one thing holding it up is Jim Cornette, because he's talked so bad about the WWE on his podcast, kind of bad mouthing them from time to time. But in 2017, he inducted the rivals of the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, into the WWE Hall of Fame. So that is a possibility, but that possibility is going to happen when the Arizona Coyotes win the Stanley Cup. Me having lunch at the 99 with Betsy Quidor, Dickie Ackroyd, and Bobby Ackroyd at the same time. Or me meeting my favorite TV female meteorologist from Orlando, Florida, Julie Boppin, and my favorite TV female meteorologist from West Palm Beach, Florida, Sandra Shaw, and me meeting my favorite TV female meteorologist from the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Lisa Meadow. So it's unlikely, but you never know. Also, number 3 on this list of the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame history is Lex Luger, the total package. Made in the USA, he had a long career in both JCP, Championship Wrestling from Florida, WCW, and WWE, multiple time United States champion, 2-time WCW World Champion, many times WCW Tag Team Champions, a TV title, a Florida title. In WCW, he was a very great performer, but in WWE, he only lasted 2.5 years, first as the narcissist Lex Luger, and then he tried to replace Hulk Hogan as the top babyface, the Lex Express, but that crashed and burned quickly. And I think the biggest knock that Lex Luger has, that he went to WCW, he didn't give WWE any notice that he was leaving, even though he was not under contract for WWE. Number 2 on this list of the biggest snubs for the WWE Hall of Fame, Psycho Sid, also known as Sid Vicious, also known as Sid Justice. He wrestled in Memphis and WCW and WWE, winning the WCW World title a few times and the US title, and 2-time WWE champion. But the biggest knock on Sid that he drew for a short amount of period of time. He didn't stick around long term anywhere because supposedly he would fake an injury or two, and somehow he wanted to play softball. There's nothing wrong to that, but that got a lot of wrestling promoters mad because you have to be committed to do that a lot. And a couple of times, Sid was actually on the list to go in the WWE Hall of Fame, but for one reason or another, he just balked at the idea. It's too bad. Number 1 on this list, the biggest snubs in WWE Hall of Fame history, Owen Hart. Owen Hart wrestled in Stampede and briefly had a cup of coffee in WCW. He wrestled for WWE for many years. He won the tag team title many times, the Intercontinental title a few times, and even the European Championship. But he passed away at a tragic accident at Over the Edge 1999 at the age of 34 when he was playing the Blue Blazer. It was a stunt that went terribly wrong, and Owen Hart's widow, Martha Hart, sued the WWE, but she settled out of court for $18 million. But Martha and Owen's kids, Olge and Athena, have vetoed any chance of Owen Hart going in the WWE Hall of Fame. That's very, very sad. Let bygones be bygones, but it won't happen as long as they're living. Sad. That's about it on that. Thank you for all your support, and I'll talk to you again soon.